Hey everybody, Joe here, and I'm going to be sharing with you Galatians chapter 5 in our Growing in Grace series. Now, I've been planting lately in my elevated garden beds. I've planted carrots, jalapeno peppers, and tomatoes. Well, I should say I planted seeds to produce that. What I've harvested were carrots about that big and about that thin. My tomato plants grew big and green, but produced no tomatoes. And my jalapeno plants grew large and even sprouted nice little flowers, but produced no jalapenos. Basically, what I intended my plants to produce, they did not produce. And looking at Galatians 5, we can see the life that the fruit, the produce that Jesus wants to see produced from our life. Looking at chapter 5, this is what Paul writes. When you follow the desires of your sinful nature, the results are very clear. Here's the fruit. When you produce, when you nourish the sinful nature, what's going to produce are the following: sexual immorality, impurity, lustful pleasures, idolatry, sorcery, hostility, quarreling, jealousy, outbursts of anger, selfish ambition, dissension, division, envy, drunkenness, wild parties, and other sins like these. Now, who's ever produced that type of fruit in their life? Guilty, right? But I just read this today, that saints always have a past, but sinners always have a future. And here's the produce that Jesus wants to see us produce in our life. But the Holy Spirit, and that's the cool thing, is that it's not about you mustering up good acts and mustering up goodwill. It's you dying to yourself and letting the Holy Spirit produce the fruit that He desires in your life. Because I know whenever I repented, whenever I said, I will never do that again, I tried, and I would fail before I walked in a relationship with Jesus. Why? Because the Holy Spirit produces fruit. I was producing plants. I was producing tomato plants that never provided tomatoes. I was producing jalapeno plants that never produced jalapeno peppers, right? Here's what the Holy Spirit produces. The Holy Spirit produces, not Joe produces. Produces this kind of fruit in our lives: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. That is what's called the fruit of the Spirit. You're going to produce fruit. One thing or another, you are going to produce something, but is it going to be evidence of the Spirit or evidence of the flesh? That's the question. And that's a good question to ask others. Meaning, I remember the end of Saving Private Ryan, and one of the most profound moments, tear-jerking moments, was when Private Ryan asked his wife, standing before the tomb of the people that saved him, he said, "Am I a good man?" And he let his wife answer. I want to ask you a question to ask somebody else. Ask your wife, ask your children, ask your coworkers. Am I a person who quarrels, who's jealous, who has outbursts of anger, who has selfish ambition? Who do you think I am? Or am I a person of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and self-control? The question I want to ask you today is, what kind of fruit is the Holy Spirit producing through you? It's a good challenge to meditate on, and God's going to help you achieve the answer that you desire, to glorify Him with whatever you do in your life. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.